trade through facilitative legal frameworks and equal opportunities for investment and businesses. She proposed setting up a private sector coordination facility to boost economic cooperation among the D8. Referring to Pakistan's geo-economics vision, the MOS highlighted the critical overland and maritime connectivity afforded by Pakistan that made us one of the most pivotal states in the world. She also expressed confidence that through the China-Pakistan economic corridor, this geopolitical asset would rapidly turn into a geo-economic dividend. Pakistan-US Health Dialogue was held on 25th July at the US Department of State. The Federal Minister for National Health Services, Regulations and Coordination led the Pakistan delegation. Focusing on 7 themes, the health dialogue was an opportunity for wide-ranging discussions wherein Pakistan and the US, inter alia, pledged greater exchange of information, expertise, and best practices in fighting diseases. During the week, the ambassadors of China, European Union, Turkmenistan, Japan, and Uzbekistan called on the foreign minister. Yesterday, the Italian ambassador called on the Minister of State. Foreign Secretary Suhail Mahmood welcomed Spain's ambassador designate and also received Belgian ambassador for a farewell call. Earlier today, Foreign Secretary welcomed Ambassador designate Jamal Abdullah, who is the first ever resident Ethiopian ambassador to Pakistan. You would have seen our statement completely rejecting and strongly condemning the unwarranted and totally unacceptable comments made by the Indian Defense Minister at a recent event in IIOJK. Pakistan has also categorically rejected the baseless and misguided remarks made by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson in an effort to politicize the China-Pakistan economic corridor. Attempts to cast aspersions over CPEC show India's insecurity as well as the pursuit of a hegemonic agenda that has held back socio-economic development in South Asia for decades. We reject India's fallacious assertion that CPEC impinged on its quote-unquote sovereignty and territorial integrity. It is in fact India that is illegally occupying the state of Jammu and Kashmir for over 7 decades while perpetrating gross and widespread human rights violations and effectuating blatant territorial and demographic changes in the occupied territory in complete contravention of international law and relevant UN Security Council resolutions. You would have seen our statement condemning India's politicization of the 44th Chess Olympiad being held in Chennai by passing the torch relay through Srinagar in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, which is in utter disregard of the globally acknowledged disputed status of the territory. By way of protesting India's regrettable and mischievous attempt to mix politics with sports, Pakistan has decided not to participate in the 44th Chess Olympiad and will also raise the matter with the International Chess Federation at the highest level. Gentlemen, India, the serial violator of human rights, would be well advised to introspect its inhumane siege of IIOJK and its total failure to smother the flame of freedom and self-determination from the hearts of the Kashmiris, despite employing draconian tactics, indiscriminate use of illegitimate force, unleashing a reign of terror, torture, and human rights violations for the past 7 decades. India's futile attempts to obfuscate cold facts by making controversial, irresponsible, and untenable assertions stand fully exposed. It cannot mislead the world. Pakistan remains deeply concerned over the deteriorating health of Hurriyat leader Mohammad Yassin Malik. He continues to suffer for his legitimate political resistance to India's illegal occupation of IIOJK. We reject this judicial persecution and demand his immediate release. The inhuman incarceration of Yassin Malik, his sham trials under fabricated cases, and the fallacious conviction and malfeasant attempts at tarnishing the legitimate struggle of the Kashmiris for the right to self-determination only further confirm India's known credentials as a serial violator of human rights and usurper of fundamental freedoms of the Kashmiri people. Pakistan calls upon the Indian government to refrain from victimizing the true representatives of the Kashmiri people by way of inhuman and illegal detentions and through sham trials in baseless and fictitious claims and cases. Pakistan once again urges the international community to take cognizance of India's inhuman and illegal detention and treatment of Yassin Malik and other political leaders, and to ensure that the Kashmiri people can exercise their right to self-determination as promised to them by the UN and the international community. More than 1.5 billion people of this region deserve to see the dawn of peace and prosperity, something that has been held hostage to India's hostile agenda, hegemonistic designs, and systematic violations of human rights. As we prepare to solemnly commemorate Yawm-e-Istisal on 5th August, marking 3 years of India's unilateral and illegal actions and unabated human rights violations in IIOJK, we salute the indomitable spirit of people of IIOJK. We honor their immense sacrifices, and we reaffirm our resolve to stand shoulder to shoulder with our Kashmiri brothers and sisters and extend unrelenting all possible support until they realize their legitimate right to self-determination in accordance with the UN Security Council resolutions. And thank you.
तर्जुमान दफ्तर खारिजा आसिफ इफ्तिखार इस्लामाबाद में हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग दे रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि वज़ीर खारिजा उज़्बेकिस्तान के दौरे पर हैं। दौरे के दौरान वज़ीर खारिजा ने मुख्तलिफ मुल्कों के वज़ीर खारिजा से मुलाकात की।
सेनेट में कायद-ए-ईवान आज़म नज़ीर तारड़ ने कहा है कि सैलाब की सूरत हाल के हवाले से खुसूसी कमेटी